What up, it's your boy, AsisGalvin, coming at you with episode 2 of the Chronicles. We're going to pick up where we left off. I'm in a little different scenery. I'm not sure how good this is going to look. You know what I mean? But we'll try to get it popping. Alright. So as we left off before, you guys remember that I was sitting down. Shorty came up. She wanted to talk. Well, the dude wanted to talk to her. He wasn't saying nothing. So, like I said, I took her, kind of walked off. So when I took her and walked off, pretty much was just introducing myself. She didn't have much time because she was already headed out the door. So I was kind of on some like, all right, look, I ain't even trying to make it all crazy. I'll give you my number. When you get a chance, give me a call. That simple. Gave her my number, left. When that happened, when I got back over to those niggas, they were tight. They were like on some, yo, you don't do that, son. I'm like, I don't even know you like that. Like, get out my face, straight up. That almost turned into some issue, but it didn't. So I left that alone. I went about my business. Left. A couple weeks. Well, it was about a week later, right? I'm at home. I'll never forget this. I'm at home. I'm playing Spy Hunter. Spy Hunter 2. I got that game from like one of my buddies. I don't even like that game. I'm just playing it, right? The only reason I didn't go out that day is because I've been waiting for this girl's call almost every single day. So after school hours, I'm kind of around the house. I'm not leaving too far. I'm just chilling. Like, all right, what's popping with this? Like, what's going on? Is she going to call? Is she not going to call? What's going to go on? I was only going to give it a week. So I got to the last day. It was like that next Friday or so. I'm chilling, playing Spy Hunter 2. I get this phone call. It was her. And it was all like, it almost was awkward, but I was on some like, you know, I'm going to take control of this. I'm not even going to let this get like that, even if I have to take the lead, blah, blah, blah. So I'm talking to her. Pretty much the whole point of that conversation was to find out when's the next time I can see her. So I'm like, all right, when's the next time I can see you? We ended up going to the mall again. Go see a movie. It was light, but it was just the beginning of us, you know, talking. So this happened, I would say sometime around maybe like September, October. Yeah, it was. Because I had asked her how old she was. I didn't even get to that in the last video. I asked her how old she was, and she told me 15. Now I was 17 at the time. I don't do the whole 14-year-old thing. I was off that at that point. Come to find out later on, she was actually 14. She just caught me off guard with the lie. So I was just like, but I found that out later on. This is after I was with her and whatnot. So we go to the movies. Everything's cool. You know, we're hanging out. Then it gets to the point where eventually I'm like, all right, well, I was on this 2-week rule thing. Let me explain. Where I would date somebody for 2 weeks, and then after that, depending on how I felt, which I usually most of the time, I would just like, you know what, I'm done, whatever, it's a wrap. So I dated her for 2 weeks, and then after that, I was like, you know what, I don't know if we should do this, and I left it alone. Normally, my philosophy was, all right, I do the 2-week rule, and depending on how that whole thing happens, if they really want to be with me, talk to me, hey, they'll do what they got to do. If they're a slut, then they'll do what they got to do. You got what I'm saying? So pretty much, it was one of those things where I was just like, all right, well, I'm going to talk to you for 2 weeks, and then I'm going to break up with you for 2 weeks, for like whatever, after that. Just to see how they were, because most of the girls, they wouldn't be worth dating if I didn't have to date them. That's how I looked at it. I was like, all right, well, if I can get everything I would get dating you without having to date you, why am I dating you? That's the 2-week rule. So, broke up with her for 2 weeks. Well, no, I broke up with her after 2 weeks for no reason. I was just like, you know what, this ain't gonna work. I can't deal with the whole blah, 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 blah. So I was done. Go to the mall with my boy one day. We walk in the mall. This is another funny story. It happens at the mall again. This is when malls was popping. Malls ain't popping no more. I go to the mall. As soon as I walk in, there's this Indian chick and this Puerto Rican chick. They're right by the front door. Me and my boy walk in. We walk in. They're staring at us. They got the look on like. And I'm just like, yo, are they looking at us? I was like, yo, are they looking at us? Are they not looking at us? Like, what's popping? He's like, I don't know, yo. I'm like, me neither. Let's just keep it moving. Because they were all right looking. It was like a Guyanese chick and a Puerto Rican chick. Puerto Rican chick had a mustache, though. Shit was not cool. We go ahead. We walk around. We're doing stuff. We come out of the store. We go to the food court. I go to the Burger King. They're in the food court. I guess they've been sitting there for a while. I turn around. I'm looking at the Indian one. She over there like this. I'm like, who the me? I'm like, who you finger waving? Like I said, look out of my face. I was actually annoyed by that. I'm like, who are you finger waving? So I walk over there. She's like, I'm like, you talking to me? You wave, you like doing this to me? She's like, yeah, da 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 da. We sit down, we start talking up with them. Long story short, me and my boy get their numbers. Now on the way back home from getting their numbers, we're talking like, yo, son, like, who's gonna have who? Being the dude that I am, and considering the girl that I was just with, like I said, we'll call her Mia. I was just with her. I was just kind of like, you know what? You can have whatever one you want. It doesn't mean that you're gonna be able to get them. it just means that I won't even, if you want to go for this particular person, go ahead. He picked the Puerto Rican one. I was like, whatever. I won't even talk to her. So I started talking to the Guyanese girl. Once again, we talked, we hit it off. Me and her got along really well. And then I started dating her for 2 weeks. This was like sometime in January. So January 1st, I still talk to Mia here and there. But let's talk, Misha was the other girl's name. Because Misha will be another person that you hear about later on. So Mia and Misha. Misha is chilling. I'm with her for like about 2 weeks, yo. It gets mid-January, and I'm kind of like, you know what? This girl's a little obsessed, a little bit. I don't like that very much. Like, she was really clingy. I don't like that type of chick. I was like, eh. And like I said, I was still talking to Mia, so I was just kind of like, you know what? Let me just dead this off. Mad grimy part about that is I had my best friend do that. It was this girl named Janelle. Had her do it. I was like, yo, call her, let her know it's a wrap. Like, I don't even feel like being bothered. I was kind of a douchebag back then. She calls her, tells her, blah, 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 he's over, he's not dealing with you. That was that. End of discussion. A couple weeks go by, talking to Mia. I haven't seen Mia mad long because her parents have her on lock. So I'm thinking to myself, I want to see her again. I think I actually want to, because, the whole time that I wasn't with her, during that whole 2 weeks, that whole time after the 2 weeks, she never did no Ursi stuff. She never like, oh, I'm going to still mess with you like that, even though we're not doing anything. Mind you, we never kissed. We never did anything within that 2 weeks I did date her. She wanted to, but I just didn't do anything. Just, I was just like, she's all pure. I'm not going to, nah. Anyway, we stayed cool and stayed connected. And even though, the respect that I got from her after, like, not being whore-like when I wasn't talking to her was something that made me admire her. I was like, you know what? I kind of like this girl. Maybe I should wife her up. So I was thinking about doing it, but I could never get a hold of her. I tried for 2 weeks, from the middle of January, as soon as I broke up with Misha, from the middle of January all the way to the end of January, I was trying. Here we go, the end of January. I finally get her. I'm like, yo, why don't you just sneak out? I was on some stuff like that, and any of y'all know how this go. Y'all know how this go. Most of y'all have done it. Like, why don't you just sneak out the house? She's like, are you serious? I'm like, can you? We didn't know. The night of January 31st comes. This is where things start getting crazy. I don't have my car at the moment. My car is just kind of out of order. I do drive, though. I take my stepdad's truck, right? And I go all the way to her city. Now, mind you, it's like 12. Pick her up. I'm like, oh, I can't believe. Let me get to explaining how that was. I'm chilling at the bottom of the hill. And I'm just like, yo, this is crazy. Like, I'm at the bottom of her hill. Her house is at the top. I'm waiting for her to come around the corner. It's mad dark. I'm like just sitting there. I'm like, yo, I wonder if she's actually gonna come out. Lo and behold, a couple of minutes later, I see a shadow walking. It was her. I was dumb excited, very excited. I was like, oh shit, she's actually outside, son. It's crazy. She comes outside. She gets in the car. We drive back. We get back to the house. We walk in. I introduce her to my mom's. I know, crazy, right? I introduce her to everybody. We're all chilling. I even have a picture of this, which I will show next video because I don't actually have it here. And I'm sure y'all next video. Anyway, I have a picture of that night. I was wearing like this little Coogee sweater, looking mad cool. I was looking cool. She was looking like pajamas and stuff, which I like. Anyway, doesn't matter. None of that matters. What we did, we chilled. We went to the side. We decided to go to the gas station. Now, this is all true what I'm about to tell you. We go to the gas station. I get to the gas station. There's this dude out there I used to go to school with. Crazy nigga. We get to the gas station. Now, mind you, nobody in my city ever seen this girl. And I told you this girl's bad. To me. You'll see a picture of her eventually. We get to the gas station. I get out the gas station. I'm pumping gas. He pulls up. I'm looking at him. He's looking at me. I'm just kind of staring at him like, yeah, and I got to go pay for this. All right. I walk off and go into the thing. He's kind of like staring at her. I come back out. I prematurely come out. I was like, yo, truck. I jumped the money on the thing. I was like, yo, on the truck. I didn't even know what number it was. Come back outside, looking at him, just staring at him. Thinking like, yo, I might have to fight this dude right now because he's really violating. The way he was looking, I didn't like. So he's looking, I'm looking. I stop right in the middle of my thing and I'm just staring at him, right? He's like, what? I'm like, you got a problem? I'm like, what you looking at? He didn't say nothing. It was quiet. I'm like, all right then, whatever. I pump the gas. She's like, what's the matter? I'm like, nah, this dude's violating over here. I don't like that. So I get in the car. I pull off. I go around the corner. All of a sudden, I see this nigga's car flip. I'm talking about like, fly around the corner. Whoosh. I'm like, oh. I'm like, what the hell is this nigga doing? Comes flying up on me dumb quick. Now, at this point, I'm thinking, yo, I don't need this nonsense. I'm like, let me get away from her. You want to play games? I'm like, all right, let's play games. I'm young. I'm reckless driver. I'm like, all right, you want to play around? What? I get it. She's chasing me through these corridors and these streets. I fly all the way across town, pretty much getting like him right behind me. I'm like, all right, hold on. I'm gonna try to lose him in these hills. I hit one corner. I go up a hill, mad steep ass hill. I hit that corner. So I'm in a truck, mind you. I'm in a truck. I fly up the hill. Woof, he's right behind me. Woof, I hit the left. I hit the right. I hit the left. I come back down a one-way, my nigga. I'm flying down a one-way, the opposite direction. I fly up the one-way. I don't see him no more. I'm like, yeah, good. I lost him. I'm going up the one-way. Now I see another car come this way. I thought he like gave me the cutoff. I hit the right. Car comes behind the corner. I'm about one turn ahead of this car chasing me. I come down the hill. This hill was so damn steep. I was doing like 60 before I even got to the hill. I hit the hill. Truck's going straight down the hill, right? Boom. Hit the bottom of the hill. Truck goes in the air. Boom. I remember that like it was yesterday. Like me and her heads was floating up like this, smashed the ceiling, came back down, boom, boom, bouncing all crazy. I'm like, oh snap! I'm surprised I was able to keep the truck straight. I'm flying down that road. I'm so surprised I didn't lose control easily at that point. When that happened, literally right after that happened, lights come on. I'm like, a cop? Are you kidding me? It was a cop. I'm like, oh shit. Now, mind you, like, she snuck out. I'm like, oh, no. We get pulled over. It's January 31st. We get pulled over right by the monument in my city. I'm sitting in the car. I'm like, yo, let me do the talking. Whatever I say, just agree to it, and we'll get out of this somehow, all right? Don't, just agree to what I have to say. The cop comes to the door. I put on the scary face, and I'm like, all right, well, let me put on the scary face here. Cop comes up. I'm like, let me let you know, before he even said anything to me, I'm like, look, let me let you know what's going on, because I had no idea it was you behind me. If I would have stopped. I told him some crazy dude was chasing me and her. I felt bad, threatened. I had to get away, blah, 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 blah. I don't know who he is. I don't know. I did know his name, but I didn't say it. I was like, I don't know who he is. I don't know what's going on, but he was chasing me. I had to get away. I don't know nothing. I pretty much made it look so believable because of the emotion I was portraying out to the cop. And I was like, yo, this is my cousin. We just went out to go get some food. I was not even trying to do anything. I just wanted to go back home. I live right over here, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, yo, please, like, I'm telling you. Pretty much after talking with the cop, he was cool. He let me slide, barely. He was like, you know, you can get in a lot of trouble. You don't run away. I'm like, yeah, I know, but I didn't know it was you. I thought it was somebody else. I felt threatened. I had to get away from him. He was chasing me. I didn't know what to do. So we drive home, heart pumping, crazy. I get to the house, and we lay down, right? So first time I've ever, I think it was like one of the first times, yeah, it was the first time I ever actually laid down with her at all. I'm laying down, I'm talking to her, and I'm telling her, like, yo, you know, I'm sorry about the whole 2-week thing that I did, but like I said, I do it for a reason, blah, 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 blah. But, you know, after everything, I really am feeling you. I actually do want to be with you. I got this feeling, I like you, you know what I'm saying? I kind of just want to see what we can do. I know you've never been with anybody or anything, because she hasn't been. She wasn't, you know, she never dealt with anybody. I'm like, I'm not trying to be an bad influence, but yo, like, I like you. Like, let's be together again. But this time, I'll give you the 100%. She agreed. We were cool. We were just like, well, before she agreed, we were just chilling there. We were just sitting there talking. She eventually did agree, and it was cool because during that point, it was the first time I ever had like a synchronization with somebody. You know, where you kind of with somebody and y'all like kind of like, you know, I can't even explain it. Like you're just in that same wavelength. Long story short, it was a great night. I took her home. When I took her home, the drive home was nothing. You know, she got inside. Stuff was straight. That was January 31st. That was the first day we actually legitimately began to be together. This relationship that I'm about to go into in this next couple videos, well, this next quite a few, man. This relationship went on for almost 6 years. This relationship was the pinnacle of what kind of caused me to be the kind of person I am. She influenced me in some good ways, and there's some things that happened from that actually made me do different things. Actually, my whole birth of me doing music actually came out of that. I was making music before I met her at 17, but it was nothing like, I'll explain the difference when it gets to that point. But that's what actually happened. It was pretty crazy because, like I said, all this came back from the first video. I should have, like, you know, you guys look at my page, you'll see the first video. It all started from that one story. This is 3 years later, and we're still counting. So it starts off now, me and Mia are together. It's January 31st. Actually, it's the same day that my mom and my dad's birthday is, same day. So that was a crazy night. And there's a lot more crazy stories that come because, like I said, it eventually gets to the point where more and more stuff happens, things get more and more serious, and other things start happening in life. It's going to be crazy for y'all. Like I said, I'm hitting y'all with one of these a day. I'm going to make time to do at least a 15-minute video each day for you guys so that y'all know what's going on. But yeah, next time we come back, we're going to get into what started happening afterwards because, like I said, Misha's still around. She's hating, telling. We're going to get all to that, all right? Your boy Asis, The Chronicles, episode 2, but I don't think I'm going to keep naming the episodes. I'm probably going to put dates. I don't know. It's your boy Asis. I'm out. Quill.